Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here for another one of those weekly trophy list updates. Today's date is Monday, March the 4th of 2024. So this will cover the week of February the 26th through March the 3rd of 2024. I would say this was a rather productive week overall for the most part, aside from one game, which we will get to here in a second. Because as you can see, a couple of new 100%, or new old 100%, I guess you could say, a brand new Platinum Trophy. Now, I do just want to go down, okay, so Spider-Man 2 does not have its DLC trophy up yet, Fallout 76 doesn't have its DLC trophy up yet, which is totally fine, those aren't until later on in the month anyway. So the first game I do want to briefly discuss is Dead Rising 2. Now, as those of you that have been following me for a while know, we're only missing 4 trophies, the 2 Zombie Genocider trophies, which will be earned as my last 2 trophies, and the co-op playthrough trophy, and of course the Platinum Trophy itself. So, once again, I have not had any luck getting a co-op partner. It seems like no matter who I try to connect with for co-op, they will just not join, they'll ghost you, they just won't be in the right time zone to ever play. It has been such a bad experience trying to get a co-op partner, and I don't know why I've had such bad luck with co-op partners recently, because well, actually, we didn't have any problems with the multiplayer. I think I mentioned that previously. Like, we boosted the multiplayer in all of, 3 hours without any major issues. It wasn't really much of a problem. Whereas with the co-op, I just can't get anyone to actually consistently want to play it. And in reality, I don't even technically need to beat the whole game. I only need to beat up until case 6 because me and the other guy, the first guy I played with, started on the Zombirex right before case 6. So I mean, it's not even really doing the entire game. I mean, it takes, 5 hours probably to get back there, and I would obviously stay with that player and finish the game with them if they still need the trophy. I'm not going to abandon them like some people do to me. But yeah, still haven't been able to do this. I'm hopefully going to be able to connect with a player this week because I think he changed his privacy settings now to where I should be able to get in contact with him. But we will have to see. Now, once I get that trophy done, we will then be streaming the Zombie Genocider trophies. I would love to have the co-op done in the next few days so that I could start Zombie Genocider on Friday and finish it on Saturday. That would be the main goal. So the first game I made actual trophy progress in this week was Powerwash Simulator, both the PS4 and PS5 versions of the game. So, there was a new DLC release, the Warhammer 40,000 Special Pack. Now, as with all Powerwash Simulator DLCs, this one was very easy, but it does still take some time, and I will say that this particular DLC has some fairly complicated jobs compared to some of the previous DLCs, because looking back at Back to the Future, the van was super easy, the time machine was super easy, the clock tower was a little more complicated, same with the Holomax Theater, but neither one was bad with having a bunch of insane little tiny pieces. The time train was a little bit more complicated, but it was the last one, so it should make sense. And then with the SpongeBob DLC, so Conch Street was... It was a lot to clean, but it was still fairly easy. Paddy Wagon and Invisible Boatmobile were pretty easy. The Krusty Krab job isn't too bad. The bus was pretty easy. And then just the Mermalair does take a while. That one did have quite a few little tiny objects and stuff you had to clean. But this one's jobs are definitely more on the complicated side overall. The Land Raider, it's like a tank. The very first thing you clean has a lot of little tiny areas that you have to get on it, so it's definitely not the easiest first job. The Redemptor Dreadnought is a giant mech unit. That one actually wasn't too bad. It's fairly small. But then you have a battle tank, which has quite a few things on it that you have to get. But then you get up to the Imperial Knight Paladin, and that's just like a bigger mech, and that one takes absolutely forever because there's so many little nooks and crannies you have to get on it. And then the Thunderhawk is just the same way, plus it's a super awkwardly designed vehicle. It's like almost like a landing craft, but it's super awkwardly designed. So some of the jobs this time around are definitely a little bit more complicated than what I was expecting. Still nothing too difficult, but some of them definitely took quite a while. So in terms of the miscellaneous trophies, there is one for each job. So these are your typical clean certain object first. They're just as easy as always. So in the Land Raider, you just have to clean the plaque on the front of it first. Then the Redemptor Dreadnought, you have to do the whole thing using the yellow nozzle, which is the best nozzle, but you're allowed to use the different length extensions, and those will not void the trophy or anything like that, so you can switch those around as needed. Then the Imperial Knight Paladin, you just have to clean those specific items first. It's basically the shield and like 3 shield purity seals, the front and back of both, and you're good to go. The tank, there's a stowed shovel on the side of it. That one's super easy. In the Thunderhawk job, there's like 12 retro thrusters. I cannot say that word apparently. There's like 12 maybe of them, and they're all on the bottom of the craft. And those are all fairly easy to get. Once again, it's just that the whole job itself is actually pretty massive. So yeah, this was, of course, an easy DLC, but it is a little more time-consuming and a little more complicated than the SpongeBob or Back to the Future ones. But you guys know that I love Powerwash Simulator, so I had no problem going back to it. Definitely enjoyable, definitely, of course, still recommend playing this game because, as far as I've been told, the Platinum Trophy is obtainable again. They fixed whatever it was with the trophy near the very end, the one for, like, beating the story. So yeah, I think this one's fixed now, so you should be able to go in and Platinum this game now, which I'm glad that they fixed it because that really shouldn't have ever been a problem, and it worked fine early on, but then they broke it with one of the DLCs or something, which is weird. There are a few more DLCs to this game. There's a Midgar pack and a, like, holiday special pack. And I think there's a Tomb Raider pack as well, but none of those... Well, for one, all 3 of those were free, and none of them have trophies, whereas these 3 are all paid, and they do have trophies, so I'm definitely sensing a bit of a pattern there. It is a little bit annoying that we have to pay for the ones that have trophies in them, but hey, you know, it's not that big a deal. It's a fun game. I still love playing it, going back to it every, like, 4 or so months. Let's see, when did I do Back to the Future? So that was November. Hang on a second. So that was November, December. So it only took them about 3 or 4 months to get the next DLC out. Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be about an every 4-month kind of thing, so that's interesting. So we might still be getting DLC for this game for quite a while to come. I kind of wish, though, that they would only do it on the PS5 moving forward, just so I don't have to re-download both versions and do the exact same thing twice. I'll keep doing it if they keep doing it that way, but I'd much rather them just go ahead and start doing only the PS5 version for DLC, because that would definitely cut down on time a little bit. Next up, Resistance Retribution, the PS4 version. This is the new-ish Resistance game that is a port of the PSP game, and it does come with trophies, thus marking a new Resistance game that can be platinumed. So at this point, you can double platinum this one, PS4 and PS5. You can platinum Burning Skies still, which is really surprising because it's so old and it's a Vita game with a multiplayer trophy, but you can actually still do it. Resistance 3 you can apparently still do because the co-op can be done in split screen or with 2 controllers or something. It's just Resistance 2 at this point that you can't do, and Resistance 1 doesn't have trophies. But I gotta say, this game is not doing anything for me. I am not enjoying this game, like, at all. It was fun for the first couple of missions to play something very sort of different, but it has not... This game has not aged well. It does not play very well. The hit detection can be janky. The controls are really janky. It's really just not a very good game, and it's more the fact that it's not very fun because it's extremely repetitive. Every level, like, the levels look slightly different, but they all play basically the same way, so it's just not really a lot of fun to play. And I did make it a little bit harder on myself because I picked the normal difficulty instead of just playing on easy like I should have, because I was trying to stream it, and I was hopefully going to be able to stream the entire platinum, but at this point, you know, I've only finished the bronze trophy levels. There's still like another 11 levels left, I think, and they're just going to probably get harder, and it's just not a fun game. Again, over 2 streams, like 6 hours of playing, I've only gone through that many missions, so it's not the most enjoyable experience. You can see these missions are actually kind of long a lot of the time. Like, a lot of these are taking... I mean, some of the earlier ones were only like 15 minutes, but a lot of them were taking like over half an hour, and there are a lot of them, which is a little surprising for a PSP title, in my opinion. But every trophy up through here has been story-related and unmissable, so you get a story-related trophy after each level. And it's going to be the same thing for the silver trophies. All of those are just story trophies for finishing levels. And then there are 3 more gold trophies for finishing the final 3 missions of the game. So overall, you get 23 trophies out of your 28 simply by completing the main story on any difficulty. So the Platinum Trophy is very, very straightforward. It's just beat the game and you'll get those trophies. And then there are 4 miscellaneous trophies, but killing 50 enemies is unmissable. You'll get this in the first or second mission of the game. Probably the first mission, I think, is where I got it. So that trophy's unmissable. Then you have to die at any point. This is almost certainly going to happen unless you're just an absolute god at this game, or always reset before you die is also a possibility, because this being a game that you stream, you can use the sort of rewind feature and it makes it a lot easier. But that's of course still a very easy trophy whether or not you're using that feature. The Augur WS is a pretty strong Chimera weapon that can produce a shield and it can fire through some surfaces. So this trophy is pretty tough to miss because you're going to be needing to use it in certain areas throughout the game to even just get through some of the areas. And it doesn't mean, equip it and get like 100 kills or something. It literally just means fire 100 bullets from this gun. Now, it only has 20 in the mag and 60 in reserve, so it might take like the first 5-6 missions to get, but it's still very, very easy. So very simple trophy. Use 10 different weapons. I've got to be getting close on this because we've had the grenades, we've had the main assault rifle, the SMG, the sniper rifle, the shotgun, the auger, the chain gun, and I feel like, the rocket launcher. So like 8 weapons so far, so there's maybe a couple more that we're going to get later on. So presumably this is going to be kind of story related, but not until like the very end of the game, most likely. So yeah, overall, not enjoying this game at all. I really don't recommend playing this one unless you're like trying to go platinum all the Resistance games or something. I'm not going to start the PS5 version yet, mostly because I have a weird feeling that this one's going to get DLC. There's rumors that it might get another like difficulty or something patched in from the original version, and the less I have to play through this game, the better. So yeah, we will see about that. And then finally, on a much happier note, I obtained the Platinum Trophy in LEGO Batman 2 DC Superheroes. This game was a lot of fun to play. It only took right at 20 hours to get the Platinum, so it's definitely one of the shorter console LEGO games. And it was a lot of fun. I loved playing this game. It was just a lot of fun. It was definitely the most fun I've had with one of the superhero-esque LEGO games that I've played. I mean, I still prefer probably the LEGO Star Wars stuff, but I did have a lot of fun with this game, and I would definitely recommend this one. I streamed it through the streaming service, and the only issue I ran into with that was I did lose my internet like one time early on, and that was it. But otherwise, a lot of trophies in this game. Nearly half of your trophy list is just going to come from finishing the main story. So yeah, well, it's less than half, but more than a third, so a little bit under half of your trophies are just going to come from beating the 15 main story missions. That's very typical for a LEGO game. This is one of those games where it is a smaller number of longer story missions, which is usually the more common choice for LEGO games, especially on console. Then you have to get all the gold bricks. There are 250 total of these. You get 50 of them for rescuing citizens in peril, of which there's 1 in each level and 35 scattered around Gotham. You get 15 of them for filling the stud meter in every level. You get 15 of them for finding all the mini-kits, the 10 mini-kits per level. And then, I can't remember if you get them for getting red bricks as well. You also get one for finishing each story level for the first time. And then you get the rest by just scouring the open world Gotham City. And like I've mentioned before, it's almost like LEGO GTA at times, because you got crazy people just, well, not really crazy, but it's not the right word for it, but you just have people like running amok all over the city. You have villains just coming out and attacking you randomly all over the city. You can drive around in the Batmobile or any other missile and gun equipped vehicle and just shoot at everything that moves. It's kind of hilarious. Again, it was a fun game. I was pleasantly surprised by this one. So then you have to get 100% completion, which is going to require you to find all the gold bricks, and that's going to get you the vast majority of your completion. But along with that, you also have to find and purchase all the red bricks, of which there's 20. You also have to find and purchase all of the characters, which I'll discuss those a little bit later on when we get to them. And you also have to find and purchase all of the vehicles in the game. So the vehicles can sometimes be a little bit janky because sometimes they won't be where they're supposed to be and they might not show up until later. That's sort of the main issue I ran into with this game, is that there were quite a few times where stuff would like not show up where it was supposed to. Either characters or vehicles or even just items occasionally would not show up where they were supposed to be at. And they would show up like later on or by resetting the game, but I did have to do that quite a few times. This game does kind of have some problems with that. It is an old Lego game for PS3. This was like a 2012 Lego game, so it does have some bugs to it, so just be aware of that. They hadn't worked everything out by this point. Also, I want to say for the gold bricks that are in the open world, some of them are actually quite obnoxious to get to, because a lot of the time you have to climb up buildings using specific suits for Batman and Robin, because only Robin can use the hazmat suit that allows you to spray the color, like the green and purple and yellow liquids. And you can use Aquaman for water-based stuff, but you can't use him for the other liquid colors, and there's a lot of puzzles that require that. There's a ton of puzzles that require the acrobat suit that he has, and I don't think any other character has an ability that's equal to that. So there were definitely some rather annoying gold bricks just around the city that take longer than they probably needed to. Red bricks, there are 20 total of these that you find all throughout the open world. Nothing too difficult there, pretty typical. Once you find them, you can purchase them, and they do not disable trophies, they act as cheats. Test out any custom character. You have like 10 custom character slots along the sides of your character selection screen. Pick any of them, play with them for a few seconds until the trophy pops and you're good to go. The mini-kit vehicles, there are 15 of these, one for each mini-kit. There are 5 land, 5 air, and 5 sea. So you just have to use each one of those vehicles for a few seconds from the vehicle launching points. There's plenty for land vehicles, but there's not very many for water or sea vehicles. For sea, you can just use that lighthouse island at the very bottom of the map, and for air, you can go to the top of Wayne Tower is a good place to do it. For unlocking all the characters, a lot of them will be earned just by going through the story and all, as you might expect, but then to get all of the villains throughout the world, you have to go to wherever they are on the map, and you actually have to complete a boss fight with them, and once you defeat them, you're able to purchase them for a certain amount of studs. They can cost anywhere from like 50,000 to 500,000. I don't think there are any that are at 1 million, though. Some of the vehicles are at 1 million, though. So just keep that in mind. That's how you get all of the villains throughout the game, and you need a lot of the different villains for their abilities, like Penguin for his explosives, Ivy or Poison Ivy for her sneaking through vines thing, Joker and Riddler for their respective boxes, stuff like that. And then other characters you'll get by just going around the map and building gold brick doors throughout the map that require a certain amount of gold bricks to build. Once you build them, a character will come out and then you can purchase them. Superhero in all levels is very easy as always. Just activate the stud multipliers and you'll have no problem with this. Rescue all citizens in peril. Again, there's 1 per level and 35 in the open world. They're all very easy to get. Plus, you can actually hit the triangle button when you're on the map screen and it'll ping to show where all of the collectibles are within range. Makes it easy. This one's actually very easy. You don't have to finish a whole level. You just have to start a level, pick up a couple of studs, and then pause, save, and finish level, and you'll unlock this one. As long as you have, 2 characters in there. It's, of course, a split-screen game. There's no online co-op or anything like that. Most of the Justice League characters are unlocked just by beating the story. There might be 1 or 2 that aren't. Then the bonus level this time around is an old-school LEGO bonus level where you have to run around and find 1 million studs on it. And I think there's more than 1 million studs this time, purely because you have to play it in story mode, but if you were to play in free play, there are like Joker and Riddler boxes that you can open. So presumably there actually is more than 1 million studs in this, but you can only get 1 million in the story mode version of it, which is really unusual for one of these bonus levels. This one takes a while, of course. It's like the old school LEGO bonus levels where you really have to search pretty hard to find everything, try to blow up everything you can, walk into every corner. You might want to follow a video guide for that as well. Already talked about unlocking the bosses. The Metro, I think you just have to enter the Metro tunnel at one of the stations and you'll take it to somewhere else, I think is how that unlocked. The finishing move, you just have to get a combo going on a group of enemies and then hit circle when prompted on an enemy to do a finishing move, killing move, whatever you want to call it. 10.1 billion studs is pretty easy. As always, just equip all of the stud multipliers. You should have probably over 15 billion by the time you're done with everything else in the game. Already talked about this. Then you have a few character-specific trophies. Switch to Brainiac, switch your second character to a Lex spot, or just find a Lex spot throughout one of the levels or the open world and destroy it with Brainiac. Flying with Superman is an unmissable story-related trophy in like the 5th level of the game. Defeat Sinestro as Green Lantern and Zod as Superman. Just have both of your characters be the 2 characters you need and defeat one with the other and you're good to go. And then finally for this one you have to release all of the gorillas at the Gotham Zoo. Release them, ride one of them as a female character, and then ride it up the back of Wayne Tower where there's like a climbing wall that you can go up. Again, you might want to look at a video for this one because it's a little bit tougher to find and the gorillas can be a little bit finicky with getting them to spawn. But aside from a little bit of bugginess, that game was a lot of fun. Definitely would recommend that one. It's another LEGO game off the list, so that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and sync up our trophies. So, level 859, 14%, 27,786 total trophies, 791 platinums, 5,233 golds, 7,437 silvers, 14,325 bronzes. So, plans for the upcoming week with LEGO and Powerwash done. The main plans are to hopefully finally be able to get through Dead Rising 2, but again, I've been talking about that for like a month now. We will have to see. Other than that, though, Resistance Retribution is a major title to work on. I don't think Spider-Man or Fallout come out until later in the month, so no worries about those yet. But I'm still continuing to play Fallout 76 now to work on a trophy guide with another person, and that guide is coming along very well, so I will continue working on that. But other than that, of course, we have Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 coming out in a little bit over a week, like 11 or 10 days or something. I cannot freaking wait for that. That is a day one purchase. I mentioned that before. That is a day one purchase, probably a day one streamed game. I cannot wait for that. So yeah, that's coming out in just over a week. Can't freaking wait. We'll definitely be playing it. But otherwise, it's just continuing to try to work on Dead Rising 2 if I can ever get a partner, and then working on Resistance Retribution when I have time. And that's really just the main focus in terms of games to play. Other than that, though, I am working on the Destroy All Humans 2 trophy video. It's actually pretty close to being done with the initial editing and the initial script writing. I only have one more stream out of the 6 to edit down. So, should have that out within another 1 to 2 weeks, no problem. And I've barely started working on the next Fallout video, just started doing some of the basic research for it, the next lore video for Ohio, but I will really try to get working on that this week now that I finish some of this other stuff. But that's really all of the main things I can think of for this week. There was, like I said, there wasn't a whole lot to talk about, just some progress on a few games, a little bit more complaining about my bad luck with trying to boost games. But I am still happy with finishing Powerwash once again and getting LEGO Batman done, because, I mean, it's another LEGO game. I've done probably over half the LEGO games at this point, so that's pretty nice, though. Well, actually, I don't know if I'm at half anymore, because they've made all those sort of shorter ones more recently. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you haven't done so already. Let me know down in the comments what you've been working on this week, what you thought of LEGO Batman 2 if you played it, or Resistance, or Powerwash, or any bad boosting experiences you've had. Just let me know whatever you want to let me know down in the comments. I do apologize for last week's trophy video being, like, bad for some reason. I don't know why YouTube would not publish the HD version, so I had to republish it the next day. Just re-upload and republish it, so it might not have been seen by as many people. I don't know, but that was just really annoying. I don't know why YouTube decided to do that to me. I know that YouTube doesn't like me, but that was just a new issue that I haven't run into before. But hopefully that does not happen again. I'll be definitely double checking everything I upload moving forward, even more so than I already do. And then in terms of schedule for this week for playing and streaming and stuff, I will hopefully be able to stream Dead Rising 2's Platinum this weekend, but of course that depends on if I actually get a co-op partner, so we will have to see. Otherwise, probably a couple of streams this week as normal, a couple of videos as normal. The next Road to a Platinum Trophy video that's just like a standard old Platinum Trophy video should be out this week as well. It's basically ready. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. See y'all later this week for some more content.